as if you understand the introduction, say 2011, till 2011, we were in ECC 6.0 platform. In 2011, SAP has given first introduction to HANA database. In 2012, it has given an approach how you can migrate HANA database for your BW application, that is your OLAP application, online analytical processing. In 2013, it has given an approach how we do a database migration from your ERP as well as BW database. That means one database, okay, that is where OLTP and OLAP plays at the same platform, that is your HANA platform. Whereas in ECC, we should have a ERP database separate and BW database separate. We call it as OLTP and OLAP database. With the introduction of HANA database, we have one platform where it performs both as OLTP and OLAP. That is where in 2013, SAP has given a roadmap with the introduction of HANA database. In 2014, when it looked into the HANA, when it gave the database structure and all, now SAP looked into the module wise, what module I have to make the changes. So that is where it has first looked into finance module. Simple Finance add-on 1.0 is what been given in 2014. It is not a customer launch, it is just a product launch. In 2015, 1503 Simple Finance add-on 2.0. 1503 is the first release to the customer, which carries the finance module changes. In the same year, we got additional 2 releases. Those are additional 1 release, that is 1503 is one, which is for finance, 1511 is for simple logistics. Then in the next year, we got in 2016, 1605, which is an update of 1503. And then we had 1610, okay, which is again an update of 1511. So 2015 and 16, simple finance coming separately, where only financial changes are there. And then simple logistics, including FICO, MMSD changes used to brought it. From 2017, SAP stopped giving 2 releases. It started giving only 1 releases per year. That is 1709, which includes S4HANA logistics. Again, we have 1809 and then 1909 and then 2020. See, till 2019, it used to give 1909. 19 means 2019 September month. From 2020 onwards, the financial year itself is a version. Okay. So we add in September 2023 release also. Our trading now, what we are going to do is on 2022, because 2020 always SAP recommend whenever we do for implementation, always N-1 implementation should be done for the customer. So now if SAP is product license, it will be 2022 implementations what we are going to understand and do it. So at the end, if you have time, we will understand what additional 2023 changes at that level. Okay. So 2022 is the version which we are going to do it. When this group reporting came into picture, you all know, because I don't want to go for a finance detailed explanation, where AC DOCA, which is a universal journal table, introduced as a part of S4HANA Finance, where it is called as a universal journal. The transaction from FICO, asset accounting, any COPA, every transaction stores at one table, which is AC DOCA. Okay, that is a universal journal table for us. Now, if you come to the SAP consolidation softwares, we have ECCS, we have SAP Enterprise Management for Business Consolidation, and we have SAP BPC also. Okay, and few customers may use a third-party consolidation system like Hyperion or any other system. Okay, even if SAP is having these many consolidation softwares or consolidation applications, why group reporting came into picture? The basic reason for that is, now we used to extract, now in the sense in ECC, you used to extract from different table and data and take it into BPC or ECCS and route. And once you extracted the data, you do the manipulations required as per your consolidation activities, and then you used to report it. At any point of time from BPC, if you have to redirect what is my source data, there was no possibility, because it is completely extracted data and you are doing in a separate tool altogether. So what SAP has thought, as I'm giving an AC DOCA, which is universal journal table, okay, which is a single source of truth, where I'm getting entire data here. From that data, I can take a data to another table and develop one consolidation application, wherein from that table, I can redirect to AC DOCA itself. That is where the group reporting concept has been introduced, where Group reporting, again, and altogether completely, it is not a completely new solutions are developing. It uses the solutions available in ECCS. It uses the solution available in BPC and designed in such a way that for a group reporting where we take the data from our finance module, there is your financial transactions, and in group reporting, once we do the rest of activities and consolidate our figures. So that is where the group reporting came. The first release of group reporting came in 1809. 1809 is the first release where group reporting came. Okay. 1909 and 2020, SAP has given a concept called new group reporting logic. Okay. Further, every year we are getting updates from the group reporting also for consolidation. That means new functionalities are getting adding up. So if you are working in a support, it will be in any of the releases. And as you all know, SAP for every 5 years, it has to upgrade. Okay. It says now whoever in S4HANA, every 5 years, they have to upgrade. For example, I was in 1809. Okay. I have completed 5 years. Now I have to upgrade to 2022 or 2023. I have to do an upgradation. That is an SAP rule for all S4HANA customers. So now you don't need to worry about 1809, which is very earlier product. Okay. Further, whatever the changes brought in and what is available as of 2022, we'll understand in detail during our session. Any doubt in this?
One question, that ACDoc is a table within S4. ACDoc U is also a table within S4, while group reporting is a separate application altogether, right?
See, it is a module, you can say. It is, I don't say
it is a module. Okay.
Module.
Then, understood. Okay, then thank you.
Anybody, any other doubt? So, the universal general table for group reporting is ACDoc U. For that, the data from ACDoc will get flowed to ACDoc U. That is my actual data. ACDoc full form is accounting document for actuals. Okay. That data will flow to ACDoc U and give the consolidation figures for actuals. The same way ACDoc P is a planning data. P means planning data. So this planning data also will be taken to ACDoc U, where you can see the consolidation figures of actual and plan in two separate columns, and you can do your reporting. So ACDoc P, how data will come into ACDoc P? There are multiple ways of doing a data into ACDoc P. The one way is you can load through an SAC. SAC again, so for analytics cloud, where we use it for the planning as well as for analytics. You can, like, however you are using BPC for planning, where BPC stands for stands for planning. Whatever we have to do as a part of group reporting planning, it will be done in SAC and move to ACDoc P. Still, if you are using a planning of BPC, you can do planning and move to ACDoc P. Or you can use APIs and do a planning to ACDoc P. There are SAP available Fiori apps are there. Through that, you will be having data to be into ACDoc P. And from there, it will go to ACDoc U. How data will flow from ACDoc to ACDoc U or ACDoc P to ACDoc U? There is a tool called a data monitor. That tool, again, it is not a new tool. If anybody worked on ECCS, there was a tool called data monitor. The same tool is being used where it is connected an interface or a user interface UI, where there is a button. If you click on that, the data from ACDoc based on your configurations will move to ACDoc U. Okay, how it will move, what are the configurations, we will understand in the sessions. Okay, so once you take a data, say the data is available in ACDoc, data is available in ACDoc U, and data is available in ACDoc P. There is a comparison figure which I am trying to put here: ACDoc, ACDoc U, and ACDoc P. Okay, so approximately, see, ACDoc numbers keeps increasing. So approximate figures is what the numbers I have given it here. Data update, you know, ACDoc, you will be posting data in S4 as a finance module. Or, for example, you will have Center Finance implemented where you have posting to ACDoc. So before we come to this part, I wanted to explain one or two architectural design. Say when you will go for a group reporting, okay, to go for a group reporting, the system where you are implementing a group reporting should be mandatory in S4HANA. If you are having ECC, can I implement a group reporting there? No. You have to upgrade to S4HANA. That means you have to upgrade to S4HANA where ACDoc come into picture. Along with that, you will have ACDoc U and you can do a group reporting. Say, for example, I have multiple boxes of ECC. Okay, ECC1, EC2, EC3. Okay, now I wanted to do a group reporting implementation. So, wow, I'm going to propose a solution. So, one I'll say, okay, EC1, EC2, EC3 is there. Okay, because you have three different systems. You wanted to go for a consolidation part where you're using from BPC, you're taking data entirely separately and you're doing it in group reporting. Okay, now going forward, I suggest we have a concept called CFIN, which is called Center of Finance System, where data from EC1, EC2, EC3 will replicate to CFIN by using SLT on real time. Okay, so as it replicate everything, that is the data coming and sitting in AC Docker, okay, I can do a group reporting implementation in the same CFIN system where I can bring the data to AC Docker and do consolidation. This is one solution I'm going to give to my customer, where I'm having a center of finance system and I will be implementing a group reporting in that. If I have a non-SAP systems, okay, something Oracle, JD, something is there, okay. So how you will integrate? There are two ways of integrating again. From JD, I can make it to CFIN. If they wanted to consolidate their financial figures also, from JD, I will interface to CFIN, and from CFIN, as usual, it will go to HDocu. Or this, I don't want to take it into my finance. Okay, I just want this value to come into ACDocu. Okay, then from JD, I can directly take it into group reporting without touching CFIN ACDoc. There are two ways of doing it. Non-SAP integration. If you are using CFIN, you can from here you can take it as usual to CFIN, and from CFIN it will go to group reporting. If your customer says I don't need that CFIN data, financial data of them, directly will take it into group reporting. You have an option where you will take it directly to a group reporting. This is another way of doing an architect. Okay. Assume that, okay, I have EC1, EC2, EC3. Customer says, I don't want center finance and all. Okay, I don't want center finance, but I am using consolidation. I want a consolidation part. So what I suggest upgrade your EC1 environment to group reporting. Okay, group reporting. Assume upgrade in EC1 environment to group reporting. You have to upgrade EC2, EC3, EC1 because SAP will not support ECC environment. You have to upgrade. For now, temporarily, what I can give a solution is you have to upgrade any one of your box to group reporting. Okay. After upgrading from EC to EC3, you can extract data to group reporting because it is an SAP part of application. You can extract from EC to EC3 also to group reporting and do a consolidation. Or I upgrade to EC1. Instead of setting up a new box, you make EC1 as a CFIN box and push the data from EC to EC3 to CFIN, and from CFIN you get it flow to group reporting. That is another way of telling to the customers.
Sir, can I ask a question?
Please.
Upgrading EC1 to group reporting or upgrading EC1 to S4?
S4. Group reporting upgradation, even if I tell that, the prerequisite is you have to upgrade to S4 HANA. Without S4 HANA environment, you cannot have a group reporting environment. That is, without AC Docker, setting up AC Docker is not at all possible.
But okay, so if EC1 is upgraded to S4, how do EC2 and EC3 send the data? Will they send the data directly to ACDocu in that case?
No. You have to use again. There are tool called GRDC, Group Reporting Data Collection, provided by SAP. You have to use that and do it in the license version. Or again, you have to take it into a upload file and load it in ACDocu. With like EC, with like replication way, we cannot do it. Either you have to connect to API, you have to use GRDC, or you have to do a manual upload. Through a tool called Data Monitor, whatever we do, that is applicable only in a system where you have a ACDocker and ACDocu. In a system where you have a ACDocker and ACDocu. Even ACDocker sitting in another table, you have to extract through GRDC. Data Monitor will work only for the system where you have finance as well as group reporting in the same environment.
Okay, thank you.
So one question here. See, you said if it is a non-SAP system like JD, that can directly send to AC Docker, while ECC system, which is not in S4, that cannot send data to AC Docker. I think what I heard is, maybe I may be wrong, you said JD, that is the non-SAP system, right? That can directly send data to AC Docker. That I think that is what you said, right?
That I said, if you wanted to integrate to CFIN, that JD...
Not CFIN. No, that is okay. That can be done. Without CFIN, I heard that we can send JD to AC Docker.
Yes, JD to ACDocu.
ACDocu.
I told two scenarios. One is JD to AC Docker, which integrated with CFIN. If you say I don't want to integrate this non-SAP box to CFIN, I can directly send the data to AC.Q. Again,
Correct.
it is through GRDC tool or by using a manual upload. The data we have a specific format. We're going to put the data, YTD data or month-to-month data, whatever it is, and we will load it into AC.Q directly.
Correct. So, yeah, exactly. That is what my understanding was. So the JD can send data, data to AC.Q. Why ECC system cannot
JD can
data
send in the sense that, see, data can be sent in the sense, it is not that it automatically send the data. Either you use a GRDC tool or you use a manual upload file.
whatever. So then why the ECC cannot
also
do that?
ECC also, I have never said that ECC is not possible. Where I said ECC, if you say you have a data, okay, from ECC, if you don't want to use a CFIN and you built one environment as a S4 group reporting, EC2, EC3 can send a data in the sense they will again send it to GRDC only. What I mean to say, through a data monitor tool, where if S4 environment, where you have a AC.Doc or AC.Doc, the same environment, then you don't need any technical help. With the tool of data monitor, you can release the data from AC.Doc to AC.Q. Because ECC sitting is completely in altogether different box. Either ECC or any non-SAP system, you have to use a GRDC or an API or a manual upload. Either of these three options you have to use if any system available out of the group reporting box. Maybe SAP or non-SAP. SAP may be a little easy, non-SAP a little maybe complex.
So GRDC, I think it is under group reporting in S4, correct?
Yes.
S4 environment, yeah. Now, so see where I'm getting confused, like the JD, which is non-SAP system, which you said can send data to AC.Q, whatever means. Why SAP cannot do? Why ECC cannot send data? And that
where
again
it cannot send.
Is mentioning is AC.Q has got GRDC, which will pull data from any non-S4. If it is JD, it can pull. If it is ECC, it can pull. That is the method. So ECC cannot send, it is always pull. Pull is always done by GRDC. ECC, pull it, JD, pull it, S4 automatically there.
Okay. So, what I understood was, in ECC, we have to upgrade to S4, then send it to, so that was understand, that was the meaning I took it. Okay. GRDC actually it's a sort of an LSNW sort of a tool, right? Which can be used for upload.
No, we'll not say LSNW tool.
It's a LTM's. Oh, okay. Anyway, go ahead.
We understood the architectural design. Okay, any other environment you have where you want a solution for implementing a group reporting, other than the examples I have discussed. So here we are understanding if you have a new customer, how you will propose a solution for going for a group reporting. Okay, what all the ways or what all the methods you can suggest to your customer to go for a group reporting when you have multiple box of environment.
One question for planning side, can say BIIP, BPC, can they also send it to AC.Q? Means the GRDC can it pull from these systems?
We plan data normally you will not put directly to AC.Q. You will put it into AC.P, and from AC.P, we will take it into AC.Q. If you say I will put into directly planning data onto AC.Q, yes, it is possible.
Understood. Okay.
Now, there is a fields AC.Q and AC.P. There are three tables are there, which is AC.I, AC.Q, and AC.P. We'll try to understand few of the field differences, how it will be appearing. As a high level, before we go to the system. Data update. First is, you will see that how data will get posted to AC.I. Okay. The AC.I, as usual, you may post a financial transaction. If it is a CFIN or you upload through some APIs, whatever it is, the data will come to AC.I. From AC.I to AC.Q, it will, as I said, it will be through a data monitor. Once the data flow into AC.Q, you can upload a flex upload, or you can use an APIs, or you can use a GRDC tool. And AC.P, again, you can do it through a planning, you can do it through a BPC, or you can upload through a flexible upload, and you can use API. That is AC.P part. That is the data how it come to AC.I or AC.Q or AC.P. Ledger. So ledger concepts you all know, that is in AC.I we have a leading ledger and a non-leading ledger. We have now extension ledgers. Okay. Coming to AC Doc Q, we had a consolidation ledger in early version of 1809. Okay. Now, 2020, when new group reporting come into the picture, you have a field called consolidation ledger, but we don't use it for any of the reporting. So what is this consolidation ledger? Why we are not going to use it now in group reporting? We're going to understand in detail when we do a topic of ledger. Okay, because now it is integrated with GRPL, group reporting preparation ledger. So consolidation ledgers are not being used, but there is a field available. That is the reason I put it in the slide. Again in AC Doc P, again it is your leading, non-leading ledgers, whatever you are using it as a part of finance. Then
What is the difference between Flex upload and C4C upload, C4P upload?
see, from cloud system upload, that is called C4C cloud for consolidation download. It is, if you integrate with the cloud systems, then Flex upload is manual upload. We have a format. Through that format, we are going to do, that is called Flex upload. Okay. APIs is normal your API connecting through any of the interfaces.
Thank you.
So client, we call client in everywhere. Okay. Ledger, as I said, ledger in general, ledger accounting, that is your leading, non-leading ledger. Consolidation ledger. There is a concept called dimension here. The dimension concept is there from default Y1 as a companies that we will see when we go to system. Physical year, we call physical year all. Physical year variant, everywhere physical year variant. Posting period, we call posting period in all the three. Company code, we call it as a company code in AC Docker. In AC Docker, when data comes, if you see company code connected to a trading partner, which is your company. Okay. That company is created as a consolidation unit in group reporting. Not a company code will not be a consolidation unit. Company is a consolidation, which is trading partner. Okay. Through way, that's how it is connected. Again, AC Doc P, we call again a company code only, and we load data by company code. Whereas in AC Doc Q, you will have a company, which is a trading partner as a consolidation unit, which carries the data. Again, we will go in detail when we talk on individual topics. As usual, you have AC Docker, you have a document type, you have SA, DZ, DR, whatever it is to post transaction. The same way in group reporting also, we have a document type. Then the number, accounting document number for every transactions, it generates in AC Docker. The same way in AC Doc also, it generates a number. The document type, what we use it in S4HANA, and the document type, what we use it in group reporting, altogether are different. Okay. But we have a document type concept where it will have a number ranges. AC Doc P, it generates a transaction sequence number. There is no planning document types. That is the reason you see in the document type it is blank. It generates a transaction sequence number when you load the data to AC. Record type, again, you will understand that. So currencies part, in AC Docker, you know, you have a transaction currency, company code currency, a group currency, and 8 freely definable currencies are available in AC Docker. In AC Doc Q, there are 3 currencies only. One is transaction currency, whatever transaction you made. As usual, a local currency, company code currency, and in which currency you consolidate it. Okay, that is the only 3 currencies in AC Doc Q. Okay, if I have a 9 currencies, I wanted to, sorry, 8 freely definable currencies. If I have to take it into group reporting and do a consolidation, again, we have to create that many versions. One row of data can hold only 3 different currencies. If you want any additional currencies you wanted to do for consolidation, because our objective is to consolidate only. In which currency I wanted to consolidate it, for that I have to set up a separate version. We will understand that. Then in AC Doc P, you will have the currencies as per your AC Docker, the freely definable currencies. So transaction type, AC Docker, you have a transaction type column. The same way you have AC Doc P also. In AC Doc Q, we have a transaction type and sub-item. What is the sub-item? How data divides? All that we will understand that. Chart of accounts in AC Docker, operation group, country chart of account. Here in AC Doc Q, we have only one chart of account, we call consolidation chart of accounts. And in AC Doc P is again follows the AC Docker. Here we call an account number, GL number. That account numbers are mapped to FS item in AC Doc Q. Account number column will be there, but in all the reporting, anything happens in group reporting happens based on FS item. In AC Doc P, again, we will have an account number. Cost centers remains as it is, profit center remains as it is, function area remains as it is, business area remains as it is. Controlling area same, segment is there because you wanted to do segmental reporting. Company ID, which is called as a partner unit. The intercompany transactions are identified in finance based on trading part. The same way, the same column updates in AC Doc as a partner unit, which identifies your intercompany transactions. We understood currency keys, now amount. Like how many currency keys are there, the correspondingly the amount also. In group reporting, we have 3 amount fields. Okay. So these are the fields at eye level. We will go and understand individually when we go to the detailed topics. So basically here we use 2 monitors in group reporting. That is a data monitor and a consolidation monitor. Data monitor is basically to bring the data from AC Docker to AC Docu and doing some clean of data, translate the data into which currency you wanted to consolidate it. So for that purpose, we use data monitor. Upon data is ready, we use a consolidation monitor where we do intercompany eliminations and then do a consolidation of investments. That is the part of consolidation monitor. So these are the two tools which we are going to use it in our group reporting module. So first we start with the data monitor and then we'll come to a consolidation monitor. So these are the tools. Which is not a new tool to SAP. It is already available as a part of ECCS. If anybody work, you are well versed with these tools, or we will going to understand those tools when we do the session. So entire activity of the group reporting is divided basically into 4 activities. One is prepare, the second is collect, and the third is consolidate, and the fourth is analyze. These are the 4 activities is been divided entire activity. So prepare is where we are starting our preparation activities for consolidation. Collect is where we are going to collect the data. Okay. Consolidate, where we are going to consolidate the data collected, and we do analysis. That is our reporting. That is an activity of a group reporting activity. Prepare, as usual, we have to check the master data. All the master data are available in group reporting. What are master data, FS items, all that we'll understand. Exchange rate, maintain exchange rate for do your currency translation. Open the period because you have to pull the data into AC Docu. Balance carry forward, okay, where you carry forward the balances. That is again year-end activity. Release of universal journal, that is where you release the data from AC Docker to AC Docu. That is the preparation activity. Collection activity, the data comes into AC Docu. You have some non-SAP system. You have some any additional consolidation data you wanted to run, that you will do it through an upload program, or you do it through data collection, whatever the tool you use it, and bring the data to AC Docu, which is non-SAP data. Then once you have data, we have to run a calculation of net income. Because we are closing the books and starting in finance, we run this activity once in a year where we push the data to retained earnings account. Here, because we have to consolidate and declare the figures, so for every month of data what is available, we run a net income. That means from P&L, the balance will go to current year retained earnings. Current year retained earnings, where system pushed the data, that is what net income. Validate of reported data, whatever data you got, you are validating with some formulas, whether the data is correct or wrong, or any adjustment I have to do or not. Once that done, if you want to do any adjustments, that is where you do manual posting of data. Further, I do reclassification, and then I do currency translation. I do reclassification. Reclassification means moving of one FS item of data to another FS item if you wanted to do. Then you will do a translation. So that means in which currency you wanted to consolidate it. You take from a finance a local currency and a company code currency. And upon that, you will go to do a translation that is called currency translation. Once translation is done, you again, if you wanted to validate data, you can do it. Then you do your intercompany eliminations, your AR, AP, sales, purchase, all that. Any adjustment to post, you post again. Then you enter a group shares. That means what is the percentage of holding of parent to child, what is the percentage of holding. Upon that, we are going to run the investment, consolidation of investment, which we have 2 methods, rule-based and ABC. As a part of the syllabus, we are going to cover rule-based consolidation. And then where we understood a divestiture, if there is any divestiture scenarios, how it will work, and any adjustments to be done upon your consolidation, and then you will go into report it. So this is the activity or overall picture, what we are going to understand or in detail during our next sessions of group reporting.
One question here about the planning data, because when we send that, when we take the data from AC Doc, it is universal, but the document type and everything is there, but planning data keeps on changing. So let's say I ran one consolidation and then I got to know, no, but the planning data is not correct. I changed the planning data and I'm releasing it again to AC Docu. Okay. So for that purpose, I just don't want the data to be corrupted in AC Docu, because has earlier loaded planning data. Okay,
Yeah.
so I want to clear my AC.Q table before before loading the second set of planning data, which is correct. So is there any possibility in AC.Q to clean a particular set of planning data?
But you cannot see SAP doesn't give the concept of deleting a certain data. Okay.
Mm.
So whenever you do a data, it is always a delta. Okay. For example, AC.P, I put some data, I released it. Again, I put some data, I released it. That means you have 5 rows, you released it to AC.Q. Again, you put 2 rows and you release it, that 2 delta will come if you are passing to AC.P. Okay. And when you load your data through an Excel program, okay, there are options where you can say overwrite the old data or retain the old data and do the difference of that data, so that we will understand during our loading of data. In those are the options you can use it. Okay, SAP never support normally to once you load the or release the data, it like deletion of data is not possible. Okay.
Okay, so that means if I have to release it from AC.P again, then it will automatically take care of all the changes.
Yes. Yes, delta changes, it will only to take.
Okay, and actually that is what we are having a situation in our project, that let's say I loaded the data for company X and Y and Z. Later on, I'm just loading Y and Z because X is no more there in the system in planning. Okay. So when I release for Y and Z, what will happen to the X data in AC.Q? Will it get deleted or no?
For which month you have done, for example, XYZ, for which month you did, and you take a real-time scenario, sir. XYZ, you did it for current year or last quarter you have done, and then
current month only. So I'm loading the data for planning. Okay. And I loaded XYZ in AC.P and then to AC.Q. After 10 days, I got to know that okay, there's no need of planning on X because X doesn't exist anymore.
You pass you load a reversal data to that. For X, you loaded a debit, now you load a credit, so that will become 0, right? So that will come to AC.Q and make the balance 0.
But in planning, we don't reverse actually. We just delete the X data. That is it. That's how planning works.
That where you did it, that in your sheets you delete, but in SAP you already loaded it, right? So as you have already loaded the data, when you load the data, there is an option, overwrite entire data and reload the fresh data. Or for the combination, if the data is there, that is the reason I said I explained when you load your data, the combination. If you have a combination saying that, okay, for this combination, if already data is loaded, for that you overwrite. If a new combination, it will insert. Like this, we have an option of setting during our loading of data. Okay, that is, yes, through an Excel sheet. Okay.
Not for Excel sheet. I'm talking about AC.P actually.
From AC.P, there is no option. If your data is available, it will flow directly to AC.Q. And it will always move the data. For example, as you said, XYZ has been loaded. Then you said X is not there. Y and Z only data you have to load it. You have to load Y and Z data only. When you loaded X data already released to AC.Q, you cannot go and select only X data and delete. There is no option like that. Once it is released, there is no option that you go to AC.Q and delete it. You have to set up a new version. And in that new version, you have to load it. That with the earlier version, what you loaded, you cannot use it further. You will not be using it in any reporting because you loaded that data. So now you will want to do that. Otherwise, you have to reset the entire data of that version for that particular one. There is one option. Through that, you have to reset, and again, you have to release it. In AC.P, you have to, again, in AC.P, we don't have an option to delete from AC.P also. Because it's like AC.I, AC.P. AC.P, you cannot delete it.
No, AC.P we can. I know the program, we have already run it. So
and you may, that is like AC.I also you can delete. I never say it is cannot. Like we don't use it in a productive environment. If you have an option or if you develop a program, if you're using a program to do it.
Standard SAP program I'm talking actually. There is a standard. Planning number, that's what I told them. That's why there is no document type. Because planning number can be changed as per the management.
That is the reason transaction sequence number is there for planning, not the document type number.
Okay, so what I understood from you is that I have to either create a new version in AC.Q. That is first one option. Second option, I reset the existing planning version in AC.Q to revert the complete data set in AC.Q.
Yes, and then you release it back again, the data.
Okay, thank you.
So these are all the part of overview. Okay, now let's start with the topics. Okay, the first topic I'm going to talk in the group reporting is consolidation ledger. As I said, that these ledgers are not being used. Yes, now in present versions, we are not using it. It was there as a part of earlier. So in the table, if you see AC.Q, still it is there. We don't do any configuration. It is a default value which go and load there in that particular column. So what is this consolidation ledger? There are two types of in consolidation ledger, SAP has delivered Y1 and Y2. So what is the purpose of using a consolidation ledger in earlier versions? It is to set a currency, in which currency you wanted to consolidate it, and in which ledger data it will take it. That means from finance, if I am using a leading and non-leading ledger, I wanted to take it into group reporting, both ledger data. Then I used to set up two consolidation ledger. And if I have a currency, I used to set up with respect to currency in the sense in which currency I have to consolidate it, not the finance currency. In which currency I have to consolidate it, I used to set up in a consolidation ledger. For example, if I have to, by using a leading ledger data of finance, I wanted to consolidate in three currency. I have to set up three consolidation ledgers in earlier version. Now, consolidation ledger, we are not going to use it. All this configuration, whatever I'm mentioning, a currency as well as a ledger, these settings, what we are doing it in ledger, it has moved to a version. Version which was not available earlier, yes, it was there available. We were using version and consolidation ledgers in parallel. Now we don't use ledger concept, we use all version. That means in version itself, with a concept of GRPL, group reporting preparation ledger, where we have an option to set up a ledger as well as currency, in which currency you consolidated in version itself. So the ledger configurations, we are not going to do it now.
So that means earlier there existed Y1 and Y2. Now with GRPL,
Y1 or Y2, or you may create Z1, Z2. Okay, you can.
yes. So now we can create any number. It can be Z3, Z4, or
now you don't create. I'm not saying you create. What I am trying to say is that ledger concept itself is not there. It has been moved to version. Now we set up a version. Earlier version and ledger you run the configuration in parallel. Now whatever the configuration we are doing it in consolidation ledger is moved to version. That is your leading ledger as well as currency setup. What you do it in ledger is been done as a part of version only. It will be set up not as a part of ledger. So that is the reason we don't use a ledger at all in our group reporting now. Consolidation ledger, not ledger in the sense consolidation ledger. In version itself, I set up a leading and non-leading ledger data.
Okay, that means the ledger and version concept were separate in earlier versions. Now they are integrated. With one version, there will be one consolidation ledger. With another version,
there is no consolidation ledger concept at all, sir. I'm keep telling you, there is no consolidation ledger concept at all. In the version itself, we are going to make this two configuration, a version as well as in version itself, we are going to make the ledger as well as currency. This configuration, what we are doing it in ledger, now these options are available in version only. In the version only, I set up in ledger, the data should pull in which currency it has to consolidate it. I do it in version configuration only. So that is the reason you don't have a concept of consolidation ledger at all now. Okay.
So here the version represents the ledger, right?
There is not version represent the ledger. In version was there earlier also. In a version itself, this functionality has been available. So that is the reason we don't use it here.
Okay, let me put it again. I mean, under one version we can have two ledgers.
One version can have only one ledger.
So that means version represents a ledger. Okay. Yeah.
Coming back to a version. What is a version? Say version is like how you treat your Excel data. Like for example, I have Excel data. I kept it in one. I made some changes. I wanted to keep it in another version. You can keep it in another version. That means in group reporting, we always differentiate data or store data with respect to version. Whenever we do any reporting, it is where it says a version. Version, what actually it covers? As I said, version, you will have a version in that you decide which ledger data you wanted to bring, in which currency you wanted to bring. Okay, you will finalize that. So for example, if I have a leading and non-leading ledger, if I have to bring that data, I have to set up two ledgers. Okay, I wanted to consolidate in multiple currencies. I have to set up that many versions. Now, if you wanted to set up for the same data, for a leading ledger data, I wanted to do it in Euro, USD, JPY3. Earlier, that is in 1909 versions, if you see, we used to set up those many versions. Now we have a concept called group currency versions that we will understand later. Okay, that means basically in version there are three types of version. One is standard version, extension version, group currency extension version. So now what I'm specifically talking is only with respect to a standard version. That means when I set up a standard version, I will treat in which ledger data I'm going to take it and which currency I wanted to consolidate it. For the same ledger, if I have to consolidate in another currency, I will use a concept of group currency. I will not going to use a concept of standard version because the data is already available in my standard version. I just wanted to translate into another currency. If I have to put it back in an Excel sheet, say in finance module, I have a leading ledger and I have a leading ledger. Whatever currency is there in finance, you don't worry, right? In group reporting, I set up a version as V1, for example. Here, I given that is, it will pull leading ledger. And this I call it as a standard version. And this I wanted to consolidate in euro. Okay. This euro is where the data I'm consolidating it in version V1. Okay. So the leading ledger, I'm bringing a data in version V1, which is my standard version, and I'm consolidating in the euro. Okay. I have a non-leading ledger. Assume that BB or I'll say A1. Okay. I wanted to take this data also. I'll set up another version V2 as connected to A1, and I call this also as a standard version. Okay. Again, I call this as, for example, I wanted to consolidate in euro. Yes, you can consolidate it because the ledgers are different. I say, okay, I wanted to consolidate this in USD currency also. So what I can do, one option is I can set up a standard version for this one also. If I set up a standard version, I have to keep releasing the data and my efforts are more, keep increasing more. So that is the reason I set up, for example, as Z1 version, which I call it as a group currency extension version. Group currency extension version. So what system will do? System, when I do a translation run, that is currency translation when I run, because it may be in any currency in here, the data came here, it converted to euro, it is already holding the data. Whatever 0L data is there is already holding in V1. Again, I don't need to bring this data 0L to Z1 and then again translate into USD, not required. What I will do, I'll directly, as I set it as a group currency extension version, which we put a reference version as V1 in the configuration. When you put that, system automatically pulls this data and translate into USD in Z1 version. That is my group currency extension version. And we have just a concept called extension version.
Hey, you know, ZaranTech now offers SAP corporate training. That's right. Train your workforce in SAP with our comprehensive program. We offer customized courses, certified trainers, and hands-on labs for both individuals and businesses. Our standout features? Bespoke training, fully configured servers for practice, in-house materials, and a dedicated LMS. Plus, get session recordings and 24/7 support. From functional to technical modules, we have got it all. Choose ZaranTech for SAP training and watch your team excel. Learn, upskill, succeed with ZaranTech.
Whenever you wanted to store any delta values, okay, this is equal to an extension ledger in finance module. For example, I wanted to reevaluate it. I wanted to reclassify my data. Something I wanted to do it, which holds the same data of V1. Only the delta entries, whatever is there with respect to V1, will be stored in extension version. We'll understand in detail when we do the configuration also. So these are the three different type of versions we are going to set. When I'm setting a version, I select whether it's a standard version, group currency, or extension version. With respect to ledger, there should be standard version mandatorily. Okay. You cannot direct set up a currency extension version without a standard version. You cannot set it because it has to give a reference of version to it. And if you wanted to consolidate further in many currencies, you can use this concept. So these are all information is what a version means. In the version, we have two types. One is data version, the another is object version. So what we are talking is all data version. In data version, we have three types: standard, group currency, extension is what? And this will connected to a leading ledger. And this leading ledger obviously connected to a physical year variant. That is basically a concept of GRPL, Group Reporting Preparation Ledger. That means a ledger combination of physical year variant, what you are having it in finance, the same ledger and physical year variant should be in AC doc Q also. Earlier, that means before GRPL comes. Okay. In finance, assume that you have a K4. I set up a version as, for example, ZD. I can give whatever physical year variant I want to have. I can put it as V3 also. I can set it as a V3. Here, K4, a leading ledger holding the data. When it comes to ZD version, it used to convert the Jan to December data into April to March consolidation in group reporting module. Sometimes it used to create inconsistencies. So that is the reason this concept is completely removed. Now, if you have to consolidate in group reporting, that corresponding ledger and physical year variant data should be posted in finance module first of all. If I have a K4 in group reporting, I wanted to do V3, not possible. You should have a ledger there, where in finance module. Then only you can have a version created for that and you can consolidate in the same ledger and physical year variant with respect to my finance module. That is a consistency created as a part of our GRPL concept.
Okay, so my understanding is that now this your AC doc A becomes the single source of truth with respect to the ledger as well as fiscal year variant. There will not be any changes in group reporting. It has to change in the CFIN so that the group reporting can use the same variant and same ledger for consolidation. Is that?
Sir, I have not used the concept of AC doc anywhere. I said whatever finance module, ledger and physical year variant is there, for that only you can set up a version. If K4 is there, I wanted in group reporting in V3 to consolidate, can I set up? So using GRPL, which you cannot set up. Whatever you set up in group reporting, it is a part of your finance ledger and physical variant use. That means for that your data is available. For that only I use a AC doc Q. If you see 1909 and 2020 before GRPL, in version I can set up whatever physical year variant I wanted to use it. Finance K4, in group reporting, I say I will take it into V3. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. I only run few scenarios with respect to that for some of the projects. So the project instance, again, it is for some POCs what we conducted. Okay. So for that, we can run it. Now it is not possible. It should be in sync. If you say I wanted to report in V3, in group reporting, I wanted to consolidate that means there should be a ledger available in finance. I'm not talking of non-SAP data. Non-SAP data, what you do, when you load it, you convert manually and load it. For example, I am taken in K4. Assume the non-SAP data is sitting in V3. What you will do, you will convert that data into K4 and load it in group reporting.
Okay. So Naveen, you mean to say that here the version is the combination of your ledger, currency, and fiscal year.
Yes.
Fiscal year variant, correct? Okay. And what about how do you deal with the group valuations? Because that is a separate currency type in AC doc A.
3132, why you will take it for consolidation? You are taking 30 group currency here. If you want, as I told, you take only transaction for transactional currency and local currency, only what we take it into group reporting. Whatever currency you wanted to consolidate, you will go to translate everything in group reporting. You use 3132, all that for your internal reporting purposes, not for your consolidation purpose.
Can there be more than one group currency extension versions?
Yes, you can create a number.
Okay.
So I was talking on data version. What is this object version? Object version allow use the configuration object of special version. See, one version, you brought the data. After that, you have to do a lot of activities for the data. For example, you wanted to do a translation. Okay. You wanted to consolidate it. All that is being done with respect to your requirement. Okay. That is where a special versions have been used. For example, I have taken a data, I wanted to do a currency translation in specific rate. I set up a special version. With respect to special version, I do configuration and I link that special version to my data version. That means the version concept in that we have do, as I said, you may be consolidation, unit attribute, group. There are multiple special versions we set up there. Those are used in a dependent configuration when we do further configurations of data collection, any activity we put like a reporting rule, all that is what is a dependent configuration which we are going to do for every step. When we do that, with respect to what we are going to do is what we do it in a object version. See, you can see a consolidation, exchange rate, reclassification, FS item attribute. All these are the different configurations or different activities I perform. For that, I need a special version. which is connected to my main version. That means the version data, what I am going to take it, how I am going to make all that configurations by using special version and link to a main object version.
Probably I'll ask again during our system setup because it's quite unclear. But that's okay. You already told, so we'll see that time.
Let me log into the system. So, for example, again, this server details also will be shared with you all guys. Okay. So, how you have to connect to the server is just explain. Let me explain to that. You have to go back to your desktop. Okay. You have to type. Hope you all know you connect to a remote desktop. It is not directly the server's credentials are been given where you connect to a remote, where you connect by using a GUI from your laptop. Not like that. You will be given with a remote desktop access where you type MSTSC. You will get open with here, where we will give the system and which firewall you want to connect. You just say connect. Okay. Once it connect, it asks for user ID and password. You give the user ID and password, whatever you have given, and you say connect. It will go and connect to the system. So that is where it has connected to this remote desktop. Okay. Here you will have SAP logon. You don't, that means to say you don't need to, if you don't have a logon software, you don't need to install because you can connect it to a remote desktop. And on that remote desktop, you are going to work it. Okay. The same way you will have Fury Launchpad. So this is how you are going to connect to the system because this server credentials will be shared with you. Once upon shared, you have to use this method to do it. Okay. So here I have logged into the system. If you wanted to check the version, which version we are doing, as I said, I will be doing it in 2022. And as we have already informed you, this is a public server, right? Okay. Sometimes you have to be like your whatever configuration you have done. It is very rare cases, it get disturbed. Okay, where you have to do it because we are not using a dedicated server. Here, if you use a dedicated server, it's only for the participant, only use the server. Others will not use it. So it is a kind of not completely public, not completely dedicated in the middle where what we have taken to do it. So here I'll go to SPRO. Okay. So here you find an option SAP S4 under group reporting. Okay. So whenever we do a group reporting, the first implementation, whenever you wanted to do it, so SAP also suggests to implement a best practice in your solution. That is 1SG as a best practice. We ask our basis team to get installed in our system. So because the basic practice, best practice gives many of the default configuration. Okay. So where it wants you to do multiple configurations scratch from the starting, which may sometimes it is difficult for us to do it because few of the settings or few of the things which you will understand when I'm going to talk in the coming session, we will find it difficult. So that is the reason SAP also recommend to implement a best practice whenever you go for a group reporting solution so that the standard configurations are available. Through that, you can copy and create your own configuration if you still need it. Okay. So the first is in this, that is what SAP says, install best practices. Install the best practices. Okay. So once you have a best practices is installed, that means you have a system where you can start it. Whenever you do any screen login, okay, there is a global parameters which you have to set. So here you can see a consolidation group, a version, a physical year, a period, for which period you are doing a consolidation run, and for which chart of account is what we are going to do it. So out of this, we have just understood what is version only. When we come, we'll understand. But for now, I'm setting some default, which I'm using the system for other purpose also. I've set something in the global parameter to see the data. Now, say sometimes I say I don't want to do a best practice implementation. I will not implement it. Okay, then fine. But if you don't implement a best practice, you have to come and run the step initialize settings. Okay. You have to come and run initialize settings. If you have installed best practice, you should not run this step. If you don't run it, if you have not installed the best practice, you have to do mandatorily this step run. That is a mandate. If you have done best practice, you don't need to do this. Otherwise, mandatorily you have to run this step, which will going to do some system settings in the backend. For example, this is a settings where it says from year LI in S4 on line items, that is 1001, it sets automatically. New group reporting logic 1001. Okay. From year of preparation ledger. See, these are all is non-editable mode. Okay. System will get activated automatically when you implement a best practice or the previous step if you don't implement a best practice. Other than that, reclassification with selection of these are all the settings which system has been set automatically based on my best practice, or if you have not used best practice when you do this set of activity. So this is what you have to do it in all your implementation system. Okay. Further, coming to master data part, here, as I said, the first is a different consolidation ledger. As I told, we are not going to use this configuration now, but I'll show it for your information purpose, where you can see the ledgers have been created. Whenever we create customer specific ledger, we used to use C1, C2. We don't need it. We will see what is there in that. Always, it will have a reference ledger. This is nothing but a leading ledger or a non-leading ledger, what ledger it is. Leading ledger or a non-leading ledger, whatever it is. And then in which currency it stores the information. So these are the basic settings, what we used to do it in consolidation ledger. As I said, now this configuration has been moved to version. Okay, we'll come to version. In defined dimensions, again, it is read-only memo. You cannot change it. It will get activated automatically. Y1 means a company's. That is what here it is. It is default set by system only. That is what dimension which we understood. Now, coming to the version, define version. Okay. So here you can see the versions have been created here. Okay. If you see any version, what information is there in the version? Say, for example, I open one version, A55, which you have selected here, I opened it. This is a version. In this version, as I said, there will be three types of version: standard, extension, group currency. What is that version you are going to set up? Whenever you say standard, there will not be any reference version because this itself is a standard version. In which currency you wanted to consolidate it, that is what you are. That is, I wanted to consolidate in euro. And because it is a standard version, local currency, transaction currency, everything will come. Run mode default set as a manual because you have to run a step to bring the data to E55. Here where preparation ledger, which ledger it is from finance, it has been connected. Okay. And here where it is a physical year variant, which has been connected based on this leading ledger. Okay. And then here where a group currency part. See, in the group currency, if you see in finance, the currency what I'm using as a part of local currency, a group currency, free definable currency 1 to 8. Any of this currency, we should update as a group currency for my group reporting. I don't want to do any further translation to any other currency. I wanted to use my financial data only. Then where I'm going to set this option. If I have to configure altogether a new currency I wanted to use it, then I don't set it because I do a translation in group reporting module. That is what a group currency from source. Anything from the source, whatever currency you wanted to use it here to update your group currency of consolidation, that is group reporting, then I'm going to set it. Otherwise, I'll keep it as a blank. Fine. Then use plan data integration. See, this version, if I don't set up here, it is called as an actual version. Okay. If I set here, use plan data for integration, that become my plan version. That's how actual and plan versions are getting differentiated. Plan versions pulled from AC.P, actual versions pulled from AC.Q. Next, these are my special versions. These are my special versions. Okay. These are the versions where data entry, consolidation group attribute, when you create a consolidation structure, when you create a consolidation attribute, when you use exchange rate, when you do eliminations, when you use FS item attributes, these are the versions I'm going to use in those configuration and connecting this to my main version. I give the same code because for my understanding purpose. You can give whatever code you wanted to configure. This I will use when I configure my structure. Okay. And that is assigned here. And this is applicable for this particular data. That is the purpose of the special versions. Whatever we are finding 3, 6, 9 special version purpose is for that. Clear?
So that means, say, just as a layman, there are 99 different sets of data for which the version is created, which is called special version, and then this is connected to the main version. Whether it is okay, as a layman, I'm telling that there are 9 different sets of data. Say data entry, group attribute, all these things. Okay?
That is the 9 set of data, sir. For one set of data, when you do your consolidation of activities, okay, how you wanted to use that data. I have a main version which is sitting in E55. That data I wanted to translate by using some rate. That data I wanted to use it by using some mapping. That data I wanted to use it in some elimination. Okay, how I'm going to do that? These are all my data activities which I'm
Operations.
doing that.
Different
So far,
operations.
that is connected with respect to this particular data. So however I do configuration in those 9 aspects, this data will work when I run that particular step accordingly.
Naveen, just trying to understand this. I mean, the whatever data coming from AC doc A to AC doc U, that will get stored against a version, right? So that means against that particular version, you will have 3 currencies, right? I mean, document currency, company code currency, and group currency, right?
Yes, group currency, if you have taken from there, it will be there. Otherwise, it will come as a blank and you do translation here in group reporting.
Okay, so in this version E55, I mean, what is the meaning of this? E55, you have taken the currency, group currency is UR. So this UR is a company code currency, or?
Sir, what is the name it is saying here?
It says group currency. So
group currency has nothing to do with finance. It is a group currency. The E55 stores in EUR currency is what we say. Whether that euro currency you take it from finance or you do translate in group reporting, that depends on you.
Okay. So against this, so there will be, I mean, say for example, my company code currency is in INR. Okay, so against version E55, I will have a column for INR and I will have a column for EUR and of course the transaction currency, right? That is how I should read this. Okay.
Yes, that that euro value, whether you take from finance or you do translate here, that is depends on you.
That is true. And if I take group currency as source, I mean, then what does it mean? You said?
I said that the data taken from the sources means in the finance module, somewhere this euro is storing, I wanted to pull that data. Then I use group currency.
Okay. So in that case, there will not be any conversion. The entire group currency value will be taken from AC doc A.
May I know the best practice, whether it is generally converted within group reporting or generally the data from central finance or S4 is taken? The group
we don't take that data, right? So that there is a common basic logic to put in here is there I use daily exchange rate. By using daily exchange rate, I don't do my consolidation.
Correct.
I use monthly consolidation rate to do it, right? So if you take that data, it is always your data which is on your daily rate. That is not useful for you.
Got it.
Anybody any other doubt?
Krishna, Vivek, Kriti.
For example, for few people, if it is going out of your mind, you cannot ask the doubt. After the session, the videos will be uploaded. Please go through videos 1 or 2 times so that you will understand concept, so that you will pick up in the next class. If you are not been in SICA, because it's little complex scenarios, so you have to go through the videos and come. If you don't go through the videos, again session also, it will go off. It will become difficult for you to work. So until unless we complete the training, you have to repeatedly watch through the videos so that you understand if you have missed out anything. So to set up a version, okay, there is no button here called new entries. Here you don't find a button called new entries. Okay, if you want to set up a new version, here with the option create version from reference version. That means you create a version by using some template. There is a template version, that is where I use a best practice delivered versions, and then I'm going to create my versions. Got it? So here, if I have to set up a version, I'm going to set up, for example, I use, for example, a template version, something E55, for example. That is a version I already set up. So I wanted to create my own version. Say, I'll say here as so B16, B66, 3-digit code, anything you can give. Okay. So here version, first I have to set up standard version. If I have set up a standard version, as I said, there is no reference version. In which currency you wanted to do it, I'll say I'll do it in euro. Okay. And then I'll say in which, as usual, it is run mode because it is standard version. Okay. Physical year variant, K4. Okay. This is fine. I'll remove test run, execute, created B66 version. If I come here, because I copied all E55 settings will come for now. We'll change all that, B66, and double click here. I'll give it as B66 version. See here, K4 in the leading ledger, preparation ledger automatically came. Okay, if you say non-leading ledger to connect, you can connect a non-leading ledger. Group currency from source, I'm giving blank because I will not take it. Okay. For example, my local currency, that means in finance, if I set up a euro as a local currency, then I set here a group currency as euro also. Then you don't need a translation because your company code currency and currency you are consolidating both runs a same. In that case, it automatically updates as euro in the group reporting module also. Here, I have to set up this 9 version. To set up this 9 version, I'll click on this button, go to new entries, B55, data entry. So why I'm giving like this? Tomorrow when I B66 only, I'll give data entry. Okay. So why I'm giving B66 data entry? Wherever I use, you will understand, oh, data entry means here where I'm using that part is what you will understand. So that is the reason I'm giving the description like that. Okay.
So what are the control settings for on this data entry versions? What is it controlling?
That how your data, the data load part, we will understand when we come to the topics.
Okay.
So that is the reason I'm giving the same name for your understanding. If I just say B60 will be everywhere, you don't understand. So data entry, when I do that particular activity, I'll show, okay, this is here we are using data entry. Consolidation group, again, when you set up a consolidation group, we use here B66. So I'll change here to B66. Consolidation group, sorry, I'll change to consolidation group. Consolidation unit attribute. Okay, exchange rate is done. B66. Reclassification and elimination. FS item attribute. B66 reporting was used in reporting part. FS group items. And so we completed the standard version and configured the special version. Where all we use the special version? We'll go to the next topics. We'll understand in every topic where we use this particular part. Okay. So we have understood the version. Okay. And how to set up a standard version. So we will set up an group currency as well as an extension version now. So here again, my template version will become B55. Okay. And my target version, I'll say it as B56. Here I'm sorry. B66 is my standard version, and I'll set up B67 as my group currency extension version. First, I'll set it a group currency extension version. Okay. Here I have to give mandatory the reference version and currency. Currency, the one B66 is translating in euro. Here I wanted to translate in SCR. Okay. And I wanted to make it automatic run. Automatic run means whenever I run a translation for B66, it also convert to B67. If I say manual, I have to execute again the step manual. So that is the reason I don't. What is that manual step? We will understand when I go on to a data monitor and start releasing the data. Okay, where I select a version and do it. So again, physically variant, I'll set it as K4 only. Okay. Here, reference version is mandatory. So what is my reference version? B66 is a reference version. I'll remove test run, execute, create it. Now, if I come back to see my B67 version, okay, here you can see B66 is my standard version and it has blocked. Because it is as usual, as I said, publisher people will be using it. We will delete because otherwise not wait for others. So B65 version and say it as B66 is I'll put it as standard, and this I'll put it as group currency SC. Okay. So here if you see
the
description,
should we not change the description of B67?
This is what I changed. No, B66 group currency version.
Okay. Keeping the reference. Okay, understood.
Okay. So B66 is the reference version, automatic run, group currency. These are all once you set up, you cannot change it. So for example, if I have done by mistake, I selected manual, there is no option to change. Okay. You have to delete it and go and recreate it. Once it is set up, it is done. And here special version, because I used the same configuration, I don't want to use a separate configuration for B67. My all special version will remain same. Again, I will not set up a special until unless, for example, I have a specific where I wanted to change it, that configuration only I change it. Otherwise, I use all B66 configuration only, special version configurations. Fine. Now, the next part is extension version. So B66 only I'll use a template. I'll say B68. Okay. I'll set it as extension version. Okay. And for this also, there is a main version is required. B66. Again, this should be in euro only. It cannot be, because extension version always carries the delta values from the main version. I cannot go and set it as a USD or SCR because I wanted to make this. So that is the reason. Okay. Here I'll say automatic run. Okay. Physical variant K4. I'll remove test run. and I'll say, sorry, not execute. So B68 also got created.
One question here.
Yeah.
This extension ledger you created here, that is actually in delta postings whatever delta postings we are doing. So this will also get clubbed with the one which you have created, B66, that is the group version you created, right? So the group version, the reference is the 0L ledger. I mean, whatever the standard version was there. So our values will get clubbed here from the standard version plus extension will go here. No, now we have a standard version. Now we have a standard version. We have an extension, which is nothing but the delta postings of the standard. And we created the group version, right? So my question here is, the group version will get updated with the data from extension also?
No, because there is,
it will not, right?
It is what is the reference version I given? I given a reference version as a standard version.
Correct.
Right? So that is the reason there will not be a delta. So for example, if say I'll tell you, create a version. For you, I will set up one more B66, B69, okay? And here I'll say it as extension. Here I'll say it as, for your requirement, I'll say B67, okay? And it is SA, okay? And then K4, okay? So now I'm running. This is an extension version for group currency extension version. What is the reference version I given? B67. Got it? If you observe here in my version configuration, because you have asked, okay, what I did earlier, I created B66 group. B68 is a reference version, is the extension version for B66. B69 is an extension version for B67.
Okay, I understood. So, what is the significance and what is the need of extension ledger? I mean, from the group reporting standpoint, this I can, and why do we need extension ledger in AC? I mean, in the other areas. How can we?
We'll come to that. When we come to the topic of reclassification and all, you'll understand. In that part. Okay. Here we use extension version. Even if I tell theoretically, you will not understand.
So
when you understand data releases and all, I'll explain to you. Okay. Anybody, any other doubt?
Do you want to change the description of B69?
I can set it as extension for B67. This is B68 extension for B66. Right? Any doubt in this? Now, see what are the setups we are going to do it as a part of our learning here. So I'll put it in an Excel sheet because we should have a data and data should come here. So here, for example, I'll set up one integrated entity. Okay. One integrated entity, that means in finance module, I'll set up one company code. Assume that I'll create it as BB66 only. Okay. As a company code in finance, okay, which is, I'll say it as, it is a Euro company code, okay. And then this is one company code, I set it in finance. And I will going to set up another 4 company codes, not because I will use a non-SAP data. See here in finance, I cannot do end-to-end transactions for everything and bring the data and consolidation because it is not real time, but because we have to see a lot of intercompany eliminations on that. So for that, I will going to set up a non-SAP systems. Again, I'll set up 4 non-SAP systems, okay, saying that SW66, okay, and FR66, okay, and then US51, US company code US66, and CA66. Like this, I'm going to set up additional 4. This is again in Euro. This is Euro, okay. This is USD. This is Canada, okay. This is, I'm going to say company code. These are my non-SAP, okay, where I'll directly load the data to ACW, okay, non-SAP. SAP, I'll create one company code and I will load the data. So this is how we're going to try to bring the data to group reporting. So first I will go and set up a BB66. Again, I will not go and set up step by steps all the activities. I'll go and copy from my standard company code as usual, okay. I'll just see 17, 10 hours, whatever the best practice company codes are there. I'll try to create, copy and create from there. Okay, fine. So that will copy your chart of accounts, everything, so that it will be easy for me to set up further. So if I see a 0 in 1710 and all, which is in which best practice company code. USD is the USD. Okay, here the group currency is also USD. That's fine. Whatever group currency. So what I'll do is I'll copy and create a company code using my instance. I'll copy from here. I'll say from company code 1710 to company code. Okay, as I said, I'll say BB66. Okay, so here do you only copy to GL account if you want to allocate the chart of account, or do you wanted to? I wanted to copy the GL account data. Our controlling area, do you want it to assign the same controlling area? Yes. So we can go with the same controlling area. Okay. Different local currency, do you want to allocate a different local to S? Okay, what I'll say, Euro company code, I'll make it.
It's a suggestion only. I mean, also we are old from FI, I mean, finance background. So this actually, I mean, setting up a company code in SAP and all, if you can do it, I mean, before the session, and we can just use it.
No, there is a one step of activity. There is like before session, in the sense this is only the activity I don't do further. So that is the reason this one step, everything it will get copied. I don't do anything. So GLE will come, everything will come. Now straight away I can go and do the postings in this company code. I don't do any other further setups. That is the reason I copied everything. This is one step of activity. I'm not going to set up physically everything. Everything is get copied. Okay. Now I have a B66 company code financial entity is ready, right? So here, as I told, okay, whatever my company, that is my trading partner code is there, that will become a consolidation unit. That will become a consolidation unit in the group reporting module. So we have to set up a trading partner and assign that to our company code. So see, different company, few people are having a wrong perception. Company means a group company is what we have to set up here. That is a wrong perception. Say company is nothing but this is a trading partner. For every company code, there will be a company. It is not a group of company. I have a 10 company codes. I'll set up one company. No, that is not the scenario. It is nothing but a trading partner. To identify business intercompany transaction, through this only we identify it. Okay. So for every company code, there will be a company. Okay. And this company, what it will going to become your trading partner, and that will become a consolidation unit in your group reporting module. So BB66 is a company code. I created with the same code, and then I went and I'll be assigning it in a company code to company. I'm assigning this. Fine. So this BB66 is what I'm going to set up a consolidation as a consolidation unit. Not this BB60. This is company code to company. Okay. Now I'll come back. Okay. So this is my finance facility. As I have done here. Okay. As I have done here, if I see my company code, there will be a chart of account. That is my GL accounts, right? So the GL accounts should be connected to my group reporting. As I told in the introduction or overview session, for every company code, okay, whatever the GL account we are going to set up in the company code. So for that, we have to set up a FS item in the group reporting. Whether it can be 1:1 scenario or N:1 scenario. It is not 1:N scenario. The FS item, what you are going to set up in a group reporting, it can be a 1:1 scenario or N:1 scenario, not 1:N scenario. That will not support. So whatever the FS items are available as a part of SAP delivered group chart of account. In the group reporting, we have a consolidation chart of account that is called as Y1. Y1 as delivered, SAP has delivered a chart of accounts for Y1. So if you see here, define consolidation chart of accounts, display consolidation chart of account. Here you can see this is my Y1 consolidation chart of account. For this chart of account, under this chart of account, SAP has delivered FS item. So if I log into, we have to log into Fiori to set up a FS item. Let me log into Fiori. Hope you all know what is Fiori under. I don't need to give background. So here we have, if you see here we have an apps. Okay. Here I go to consolidation master data. In the consolidation master data, we have FS item, define FS item. Okay. So here in this FS item, you can see here we can set up our FS item. If I want to set up a new FS item, I go here. Okay. You can give the code for it. Okay. Whatever code you define a 6-digit, whatever the length you wanted to set it, give a chart of account. Here we are going to set up a FS item. So FS item description. In FS item type, there are, as usual, you are finding 6 FS item. As usually, it is asset FS item, expense FS item, income FS item, liability FS item. These are my 4 different categories of FS item. Reporting and statistical will understand at later point of time when topic comes. Okay. So other than this will have a breakdown category. We'll understand what is breakdown category and all. And every FS item will have a 7 selection attributes, whatever you are seeing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 selection attributes, 3 target attributes. What is the 7 selection attributes? See, 7 selection attributes means, for example, I'm creating an FS item here. I wanted to use this FS item in, for example, in some data collection activities. Well, I'm collecting the data, or when I'm doing a translation, when I'm doing an intercompany elimination, when I'm doing cash flow activities. Other than that, any other selection, I'm grouping. Say, for example, I have 10 FS item I wanted to group. Again, going and creating a multiple groups when I wanted to pull it, we use the selection attributes. Okay. In the selection attributes, whatever the common nature of FS item, we group it.
What sets ZaranTech apart in SAP corporate training? It's our unique blend of expertise and innovation. We offer customized courses tailored to each client's needs, ensuring relevant, targeted learning. Our vast trainer database brings you wisdom from the best in the field. Need resources? Access our extensive training material repository anytime. We are all about measurable results, providing detailed student metrics to track progress. And we don't just teach, we build community. Join our thriving social media network, connecting learners beyond boundaries. With ZaranTech, you are not just training, you are transforming your SAP expertise.
Say, for example, I wanted to do AR/AP elimination. So I will create one code which is called as elimination and selection, and I'll assign in all my AR/AP related where I wanted to pull for elimination. Okay. Again, this is 3 target attributes. Whenever you wanted to elimination and post an entries, then I use this elimination target. So if you don't understand this for now, you can keep it as it is. Whenever we come to the topic, we'll understand. So for whenever you wanted to define an FS item, as I said, you will give this description information. You select what FS item type is. You give a breakdown category, and then you will have 7 selection attributes and 3 target attribute. Okay. So here you see breakdown category. So this breakdown category, what is the purpose? So that we will understand now. See here, whenever we divide an FS item, okay, whenever we divide an FS item, there will be a breakdown category. Breakdown category, basically, it divides into 2 types. One is whether it is a transaction type or a function area. That means, the data is there that I posted in a finance. Okay, that finance data mapped to an FS item, it came to an FS item. That FS item is having a breakdown category. That breakdown category helps to identify 2 things. One is sub-item, and another is sub-item category. That means whether it is a balance sheet or a P&L, that is one part. And if it is a balance sheet, it will take a transaction type. If it is a P&L, it take a function area. Got it? This is a functionality of BDC, breakdown category. Say GL account, you posted an entry. The data flows to group reporting. In the group reporting, you are dividing that into 2 parts. That is dividing into a breakdown category into 2 parts. One is sub-item and sub-item category, where it identifies whether it is a function, whether it is a balance sheet or a P&L. If it is a balance sheet, it update 1. If it is P&L, it update 2. And if it is a balance sheet, further it go and update a transaction type, because for balance sheet line items, that means what activity you are performing is required. That is where a transaction type helps us to do it. Okay. And further, if it is a P&L, it go by a function area.
So sub-item means balance sheet or P&L, and sub-item category means transaction type or functional area, right?
Function area. Yes. If it is a balance sheet, it is a transaction type. If it is a functional area, if it is a P&L, it is a function area. Sub-item category. Okay. Clear. See, breakdown category are used to control sub-item and other sub-assignments for a transaction type. Okay. Sub-item, that is, it differentiate 1 and 2, a balance sheet or a P&L. Upon that, if it is a balance sheet, it uses transaction type. If it is a P&L, it uses a functional area. Okay. So if you come to the next slide, here you can see the data is there. The data I've released, okay, I've configured a breakdown category. Upon a breakdown category, because you can see here, there are two things, subitem 1 and subitem 2. Subitem 1 and subitem 2. So the subitem 1 and 2, there is 915 and YB19. These are my default value. That means if from the finance side, there is no transaction type, it will come and take 915. So basically, transaction type is nothing to do with your asset transaction types. Again, fixed asset transaction types are only for fixed asset module. That is not for consolidation part. Okay, that is a basic thing you have to keep it in mind. For consolidation purpose, we have a transaction types. Okay, that transaction type. If anything got updated in finance, basically it will not. Basically, it will not. So when it coming to a group reporting module, it updates. If it is a normal day-to-day transaction, it go with 915. As I said, if I do a carry forward balances specifically in group reporting, it takes 900. 980 when I do transaction difference. So whatever is required is been pre-configured or available as a part of standard SAP. So that value it will going to take. Again, a function area, if you're using a cost of sales accounting in your group reporting module, sorry, in your controlling module, you can use the same functional area. If you don't use it and if you don't need it, you can apply a default function area. If it is a blank, it go for a default function area. Or in group report, in CO module is not doing it. When I come to controlling, when I come to GR, I have to do it. You can also do that. That means P&L updating a function area can be taken from CO module, or you can take it from default if you don't want to use it. Okay. Or you can configure, or you can use it in group reporting and derive function area. Normally, we don't again keep deriving in GR module. Whatever is there in CO, we will take it. If they don't use that concept, we will take it as default function area. Okay. So that is what it has been done. Clear? Any doubt in this? So the any GL account, whatever, see you can see here, AC DOCA, no transaction type is posted in the screen. Okay. It came, you did a data release. That is looked into an FS item. That FS item is assigned in the breakdown category. Okay. So you can see here 1B000, 1C0 breakdown category. Here for sub-item category and sub-item, what is the configuration is done. Sub-item category, it says required breakdown. Okay. 3, it says required breakdown. Default fixed value. Okay. Here it always says a fixed value, that is 1. Okay. Here the required breakdown category. We'll see what is this 3 and 2 differences we'll see. So it says a default allowed. If there is any data come as a blank, it will go as a default. Default, we set it as 915 for transaction type, YB99 as a SAP delivered as a dummy function area. So with that, it came and update to AC DocQ. AC DOCA to AC DocQ. By using breakdown category assigned in FS item, it reaches to AC DocQ.
Yes, concept was clear. Once we see, then probably it will be more clear.
So here where you assign a breakdown category. So here I will come back here. If you see the SAP delivered functions here, these are SAP delivered FS items. You can see here. These are SAP delivered FS item. Okay. In this FS item, you can see, you leave the statistical, you can see there is a currency. For example, if you take one FS item, what is SAP delivered? Here you can see breakdown category. Okay. So here, according to the breakdown category, it says required breakdown, entry is forced, default allowed. Okay. Sub item, again, required breakdown. If the blank default value is used, that is, if it is a blank, that is your function area or a transaction type. If it is a blank, default is allowed. Okay. So if what it has to use, a default should be allowed. Okay. So system will going to pick that. And it will have, as usual, the selection. Maybe FS item wrote, these are not relevant, these are 4 are relevant. Okay. Which has been configured. Okay. Whenever we eliminate anything, it has to update. It has been given there. So if you, as I said, if you don't understand this, for now, you can leave it blank. When we go to the next topics, you will understand. So for SAP delivered FS items, this has been available. As we will going to use the SAP delivered chart of accounts. That is, we are going to use this one only. We will go and take it and upload to our version part to this part. Got it? So here is a consolidation E55. Okay. If I check for now to understand, we are doing it. For D66, if you check, there is no data because we are not yet done.
B66.
There is a B66 even. 366, you don't find here. Even if you find it is a copy data, this is copied data. Okay. So this will not have a complete set of information. Okay. We cannot use this. So I'll come back. These are my FS. How will I go into this? Is you understood, right? So if I come back here to my presentation, okay, here you can see what are the configuration. Blank, no breakdown. No breakdown means that value will not break down. What is that breakdown means? In sub-item category, whatever you are seeing. Okay. Here you can see breakdown. One, here we set 2, 3, everything. Okay. So one optional breakdown, 2 required breakdown, 3 breakdown, entry is forced, default allowed, 4 required breakdown, entry is forced, default not allowed. That means here default will not going to take whatever data is there, it will only take. For now, whatever we have used only 2 and 3 in our this one. We have not used both here, 2 and 3. Okay. 2 in the sense the default value is automatically used if the field is blank in the source data. The associate items must be subclassified by the sub-assignment and default value can be used. Okay. So the default value is here 1 and 2. Okay. Where we configure this breakdown, here I'll come back to this one. Here you can see different breakdown categories. Initial breakdown categories. This is the breakdown categories. These are SAP delivered breakdown categories. If you take any breakdown category, you can see here the value. Okay. Sub-item category. Okay. Sub-item. Right? So if you use, for example, if you use a best practice, as I was showing, whatever SAP delivered breakdown categories, you can use it. Okay. That you can just assign. Instead of you start doing a breakdown category configuration from the scratch. Okay. You can use here, which, say, for example, here what all the breakdown categories are available. So in the real time, what will happen? Whether you set up a new chart of account or use the SAP delivered chart of accounts. Say, basically, we implement a best practice and we will always refer to the standard available configuration. Whether if you wanted to set up your own chart of account, you can set up. Basically, whatever SAP delivered chart of accounts or whatever FS items are being given for a real-time business, it would not be sufficient. That you can keep it as a reference and you can set up what additional FS items are required by using Y1 only as your chart of accounts. Okay. According to the business, when you set up, you will always refer, okay, for example, what is the nature of this account and what is the SAP default configurations are available for that particular FS item. You copy and set up an FS item. That is one way of doing it. Or if you wanted to do all together a new FS item, okay, fine, you set up a new FS item. For your better and easy configuration, whatever FS items you are going to set up, you try to map with the SAP delivered standard FS item. Say SAP delivered maybe 50, you would have set up 200 FS item. That based on the nature of structure, you try to map it into SAP delivered standard FS item. Okay. Once you map it to this, the dependent configuration, for example, I map an FS item to this, the dependent configuration breakdown, I can use it. Okay. So I will come to currency translation, I have to do it. Okay. Whatever S-CT-BS-CLO is there, I can copy this and create a Z, and whatever the same nature, I can group it. So these are all the advantages which you're going to get when you refer to the best practices. Otherwise, when you say, for example, I will set a new breakdown category, it creates a lot of confusion for you and you may mess up many of the places. Okay. So that is the reason you keep always this as a reference chart of accounts and set up according to the requirement. So sometimes if you're using a group chart of accounts in your finance module, that can be a replica of our FS item. Operation chart of accounts, if your business says I wanted to use 1:1 scenario, you make a replica of operation only as a FS items. Obviously, you don't find any option and do it. But basically, you have to give an education to your end users that what is the purpose of FS item that is used for a consolidation. Your operation chart of accounts are for detailed analysis. Okay, this is for your consolidation part. If you're already using a group chart of accounts, you can make that as a replica and set up a FS items accordingly. And you're already having a mapping of operation chart of account to group chart of account. The same mapping you can use it. Or if it is completely a new implementation, the FS item, whatever you are going to set up, you decide with your business what is the naming convention and all. But you as a consultant in the backend always keep reference of a SAP delivered standard FS item so that the dependent configurations can be reused where you will not miss the functionalities to use it. Clear? Import consolidation master data. Here, first I will go and import my financial statement items. Okay. So here I can do, we are not going to consolidation still. So we are in financial statement item. So what I will do, I will go and download a master data with the template. If you just want to download do a template or master data, I want master data. So here when I'm running, it says consolidation chart of account. What is the version? Okay. So our version, which we are going to use it here is B66. For that version, we are going to do it. Okay. So effective, whatever is available, any specific FS item I wanted to download all. I'll download all. The FS item, download it. I'll open this. If you see here, this is a template. Okay. In this template, from the reference, for example, if you're using U000 as a reference, you can use that. Whatever you want, you can use it. All these dependent configurations are all available here, right? Everything is available here. Okay. So you can use this template. You see, you can set up, or if you are setting up all together a new FS item, okay, you can do this. Basically, the statistical FS item, reported FS item, again, statistical FS items are internally defined by the system. We try to keep the same statistical FS item for any company code. Okay. We don't set up a statistical group reporting FS item. I'll come to that. Statistical also, or we use it, I'll come to that later. Okay. So here, what I'll do, I'll update this to my version. I wanted to load for my version, right? So what is my version? B66. Yes, this is my version. Okay. So here, this version, whatever is there, I will save here the data. Okay. I changed because I'm just doing copying. Okay. I'll say B66. I copied. Okay. Here I'll come and upload the data. Here I'll say upload. You can see here, once I loaded it, it says to be checked. Okay. I'll say check all. Once you're uploading whether it's consistent or whatever it is checked successfully. Okay. Check successfully. Now I'll say import all.
Is it possible to explain the fields of the flat file, the Excel file?
So the same file, what I explained in FS item. Whatever we explained in FS items, the same data we are putting in an Excel sheet and uploading it. Financial statement code, description, medium, long description, what type of, whether it is asset, balance sheet, statistical, expense, whatever FS item is. Okay. As usual, block for consolidation item, posting and all. And again, as usual, we will have 7 selection attributes, 3 target attributes. All this, whatever we have explained in defined financial statement version, that only is placed it in an Excel sheet. So that is the reason I copied and upload. Fine.
One question. I mean, so why this is done per version? Because FS item is at the chart of account level. The same cannot be applied to all the versions. And why do we do it by version?
Why do we do it by version is for one version you wanted to, for example, I do it in 2 ways of reporting, leading and non-leading ledger. Okay. Where you set up 2 different versions. Okay. The GL account FS item mapping vary from version to version. You got my point. The GL account to FS item map vary from version to version. So that is the reason it will be set up with respect to a version. So see, you can see here for B66 version, if you see, whatever we loaded, all data is appearing. Still, we have not imported the mapping. We have just loaded a version. We have to do a mapping. That is from GL account to FS item, we have to map it. Okay. So here, where in the SAP, we map FS item to GL account. Here, you can go and map it. If you wanted to upload, you can upload it. Okay. Here, I'll come back here, import FS item. Here, I'll say download. Okay. I'll say download with existing master data. Consolidation chart of account is Y1 is our chart of account. Mapping ID. See, this mapping ID is nothing but what? Here we set up a map. Here we will first I'll copy from my any of the available. Okay, I'll use this one only. Okay. So here I am copying, downloading. It is downloaded. If I open here, and you can see inside. Here where you find consolidation chart of account. This mapping ID. Can you see here? This mapping ID E55. What is that mapping ID we created? Is B55. Okay. Sorry, B66. So B66 mapping ID, I'm going to link all this mapping here.
Did we create any mapping ID?
We have not created a mapping. See, here I'm identifying a mapping ID, which is nothing but my special version part. Okay. which is nothing but my special version part. I'll show that. Okay. So this is B66. For this, I'm setting up a mapping ID. This mapping ID, I'm going to set up and activate this version. Okay. So version is 1. That means, for example, I'm using this version. I will start using this version. So that is the reason the version 1. Okay. So this is a version 1, which is there, where you have a GL account and FS item. Where you have a GL account and FS item. This is a GL account and this is a FS item. Okay. This mapping is there. I have to load it to the system. Okay. So here, I'll just save it here. I will load it. See, I have not created a mapping ID. The mapping ID I'm going to set up to my version. What is version? Mapping version. Okay. What I'll do is I'll come back, import FS item mapping. Here I'll say browse, download, port template 3120. Here I'll select. I'll say check. Okay, it's fine. I'll select here. Here you can see we have loaded with respect to our mapping ID B66 with revision 1. You are finding the data, right? So here, after doing this, we have to activate the version. Okay. So here where we activate that version. If I go here, okay. What is my mapping ID? Created B66. Mapping ID.
First row in this table itself. Direct.
Once why it is showing it still in draft. Here I'll say import, imported. Here I'll select this, say create version. Okay, when I say create version, okay, here my mapping ID is B66. Okay, for this B66, I'm going to activate the revision here. Okay. What we have done, we have set up a FS item. For that FS item, I have done a mapping where you are seeing here where we have done a mapping. Okay. So once we have done that mapping, okay, here where we are going to activate that, okay, as an FS item mapping. Here, FS item mapping version. Can you see here? Here, what is this mapping version? This is nothing but my special versions. Okay, so here, okay. So B66 is what I have set up FS item group. This is linked, you have to connect. That is the reason I've given the naming conventions like that. In my version, the special versions, B66, if you see B66, here I have set up as for FS item mapping part, I have set up a FS item. Okay, so that FS item attribute, you can see here B66 FS group item B66, FS group item B66, FS group item B66. Can you see here? FS group item B66 means this is B66. This B66 is what I'm selecting here and activating that to B66 to my GL chart of account YCOA. Okay. Mapping ID, which I created B66. See, I created an FS item. I created an FS item with respect to B66. I mapped with respect to B66 mapping ID. That mapping ID is getting linked to my mapping version, special version. Okay, all codes I'm trying to keep similar. Got it? Say I created an FS item, I loaded directly to my standard version and I created an FS item. Then I'm doing a mapping. When I'm doing a mapping, I use a mapping ID. That mapping ID, I'm linking it to my mapping version. This is what it is linked in my configuration. FS group items, FS group item B66. Okay, that is what it is here. Revision, which revision you wanted to use it. If you say 1, 2, 3, 4, for example, I keep multiple mapping. I wanted to use from next month another revision. You can do that by giving from which date you wanted to use it. I just give it 10/20/23. I'll say revision 1 is what only one revision we are having. I'll say save. That means whatever the revision maintained in the mapping with respect to B55, mapping revision 1 will be used from October, or it is getting assigned to FS item group item. So whenever I can pull the data, the mapping will use by using this configuration. Can you able to connect all?
Yes. So we are choosing this last FS group item mapping with B66
mapping ID. That mapping ID is what we have done.
Okay. So this is one operation to map the GL account to the group account, to the consolidation account,
Yes.
the FS items.
Yes.
Okay.
I think why we are bringing the GL chart of account over here. The previous screen, I mean, when you were doing that activation, the GL chart of account, why, I mean, the COA is used, and what is the purpose of that? I mean, what it refers to?
Which
Is the
which one
previous,
is
the previous activation.
this one? This activation. See, you have kept multiple versions of mapping. Okay, which one system has to use it?
No, I'm not talking about revision. Actually, I'm talking about the. Can you again go back to the previous screen?
I think you want to ask about the mapping between group chart of account to FS item. Is that so?
On the previous screen, yes, I think, yeah.
Yeah, the Excel sheet.
No, not Excel sheet. Here.
That
Okay, can you go
Here,
to
what you
can you go to the details of this?
Which app you are talking?
I think it is assign the assign FS item mappings.
Assign FS item mapping is where I'm activating whatever the mapping I have created. I'm activating from which month what it has to use, what revision it has to use. This is where I'm connecting my mapping version to mapping it.
Yeah, here. What is the significance of that GL chart of accounts poster?
Why you see master data? See, whenever data it takes from the system, it has to validate for which master data it is taking. This is YCOA, my financial chart of accounts. What is my financial chart of account? YCOA. YCOA is my FI chart of accounts. So that I'm referring.
In S4.
Yes. Y1 is my group chart of account. So whenever you're referring the GL account, whatever I mapped, because see, master data, you cannot put whatever you want. The system has to validate that, right? Within your SAP S4, any cost center properties, anything is been created. Okay, all that will be validated. Otherwise, how can you do a reporting? People, you see, for example, there is a reason to validate purpose is what it is. Say, for example, YCOA chart of account part, that is, it will validate, okay, GL account, whatever. For example, you may load a GL account from the upload also, some additional data. System has to validate that GL account is there in YCOA chart of account. Just you put some GL account and try to load the data through an Excel file. System has to validate that, right? So which chart of account it has to validate. So for all that purpose, it has been used. It is a kind of mapping and then further validation.
Okay, so the multiple GL chart of account cannot be mapped to consolidation chart of account?
You can, that is, I told 1:1, N:1 mapping.
N:1 can be, N:1 is possible, right? So then how does it?
I'm talking of not chart of account, I'm talking of GL account.
Correct. So
GL account, you can have a multiple mapping. Here where GL account, FS item, whatever you map, you can have map N:1. When you map here, you can have put the same GL account and you can put different GL account and put one FS item when you assign it.
My question, I don't know whether it is a stupid one, but I was thinking that way. I mean, there were two company codes, and one was having maybe from external system is coming the operation chart of account in ECC. I mean, sorry, in S4, and the other is having different operation chart of account. And you are consolidating.
What we are doing is basically what all this configuration. What we are doing is to data from a non-SAP system. Okay, when you take from an SAP system. When you say non-SAP system data you are taking, all that master data should also be available. I'll come to that topic later. Okay, that's fine. So now we understood this mapping part also. Okay, we understood the breakdown category. We understood the mapping part also. Any doubt in this?
Just one that GL chart of account is that group chart of account generally, because when it comes to
operational. See. You can refer, I told here what we are linking is all operational. Group chart of account doesn't hold any data. Operational is what we are trying to refer here. Fine? Okay. So the next part is the part of setting up the consolidation unit and consolidation group. I'll take up that in the next session. Now, before to that, there is one more topic which I wanted to cover it. Say there is a concept called additional characteristics master data. Say, we do a reporting we do a group report. So when you do a reporting, always master data should be consistent. Master data cannot be as it is, you cannot put. Say, for example, you have SAP data, it's always validate from your SAP masters. You created a cost center, profit center, everything it is created, it is validate from there. When you load a non-SAP data, you say you are trying to load a cost center or a profit center. Maybe SAP third party, that means out of the box SAP or a non-SAP system. okay, a GL account, okay. All that should be available as a part of master data, but we don't have a financial company code. We have an option to make that as a master data in group reporting only, where a basic information you have to fill in. Like cost center, you create so many long cost center if you create it in CO module. We don't need that. Okay. So that is what we call additional characteristics for master data. That means that this master data should be consistent. If you wanted to do any matrix consolidation, anything, people cannot upload master data however they want, right? So because we have to derive the reports on all that permutation combination, so it should be a predefined in the system. And whenever data comes, even if it is a non-SAP system, it validates it. So again, for that, we are going to set up a dependent. For example, GL account dependent on chart of account, cost center dependent on controlling area. So with respect to that, we are going to set up a master data in the group reporting for non-SAP systems also. Okay. So for that, this is a common generic screen available by an SAP. Let's go to the system. So here, if you see, define consolidation master data fields. Okay. Here you can see these are SAP delivered screen. This is completely SAP delivered screen, where few of the things only is allowed for you to check. The rest of the fields are already been checked by SAP. Say, for example, if you take a business area, okay, subordinate field means a dependent on, okay. A profit center is validated based on controlling area. Always, cost center is validated based on controlling area. WBS element is defined based on a project. GL account dependent on chart of account. Business area is nothing to do. So that is the reason it is black. Okay. And the reference field, what is the reference field? Partner cost center referred by cost center. Partner business area referred by business area. Partner profit center referred by profit center. So these are reference field. Enable input. Enable input means you can able to key in the field. This is, you cannot remove it if it is disabled. That means a cost center, whenever you do a transaction, you can enable it. You cannot say, I will disable it. That is the reason standard SAP fields have been enabled. Enable master data. Enable master data means it enables the master data to keep it in a group reporting. Enable master data finance, for example, business area, it is already there. GL, it is already there. In a group reporting, for example, I use this as a criteria. For example, if you see here, there is a material in a field. There available material. Okay. In the material, we have some functionality where you wanted to enable a master data. You can enable it. Okay. So then coming back to enable hierarchy. Okay. There is another concept called enable hierarchy. Okay. Enable hierarchy is SAP has given an hierarchy app, which is called global hierarchies. Okay. Whenever we do a reporting, say for example, we used to set up in GUI cost center group, cost element group. It was very restricted what you can do it. Okay. Now with manage global hierarchy, you can use any of this attribute and set up an hierarchy however you want and use it in your reporting. So whatever is SAP enabled is enabled as a default when you open a global hierarchy, manage global hierarchy app. Hope you have used that in your finance module. If not, when I do reporting, I'll show that. Okay. So whether that particular field you can structure an hierarchy or not is what is being enabled. Wherever it is not, you cannot enable for this. Okay. You can enable for this. For example, enable hierarchy. Again, enable hierarchy elimination. For elimination part, whether you wanted to, in elimination part, it allows only the profit center to the segment is what is allowed. Others are all grayed out. You cannot do it. Okay. Because it is a intercompany elimination part. Aggregate on carry forward. That means whenever I run a group reporting carry forward, whether it has to aggregate on that level or not. That means how your value should flow into a next financial year. So basically, we say based on a profit center, based on, these are all best practices ones, but we normally don't change it based on a cost center. When I do see based on cost center is not required because carry forward will not happen based on cost center because it is an expense only it carry. A balance sheet carries a profit center, you can say enable aggregation. And aggregate on data release. Whenever I release the data, if you wanted to aggregate, okay, based on GL, profit center, cost center, that means from AC doc R to AC doc Q, when data is going, at what level the aggregation you want, you can set up, or you can default leave it what SAP has provided. If you don't want to aggregate, you wanted to take complete line by line, you can uncheck all. all this one is what is being set up here. That means any field you wanted to enable as a master data because you're using it for reporting other than SAP delivered, you can enable it. Anything you wanted to set up a hierarchy structure for a master data, you can set up it. Whenever data flows from AC doc R to AC doc Q or carry forward, what all permutation combination it has to use, all this bin is going to set up in this particular screen. Clear? Once you have the screen, you have an app called Define Master Data for Consolidation Fields. So whatever non-SAP data I'm going to bring it, okay, I have to make that master data available in this particular app. This may not see your business area, profit center, cost center, everything is there. Say, for example, if cost center, if you see accounting master data for data records is this much. Consolidation master data is this much. This means here if you see controlling area, this is which is integrated with CO module, this column. And this is what we have set up. Say, for example, if I have to set up a new one, I'll set up here. Again, you say controlling area, based on controlling area, I'll say create again. So here I'll say master data subordinate description. This is only the information. It doesn't carry anything. And with respect to subordinate, it cannot be a duplication. Say, for example, I wanted to set up a cost center as A123 as a part of my controlling area A00 only. Okay. And the description of it. So whenever data comes, okay, from the system, it validates here, create. Fine. So here, if you see consolidation master data, A123, A003, create. Other than that, there are other. This is where it has been taken from your for master data already available. Combined master data means it shows both. Is that clear to all? So this how this whatever whenever you treat a non-SAP data, how you can make sure that the master data are correct, one part, and any of the SAP delivered master data you want to enable and use it in group reporting. Sorry, for all that purpose, you can use this. Clear?
So consolidation master data meaning non-SAP master data.
It is not only non-SAP, it can be SAP or non-SAP, anything. See here, I am not saying non-SAP master data, you are going to make it as a unique, okay. Here it is enabling for SAP, non-SAP both. SAP master data automatically takes, non-SAP you maintain it.
But in the next screen, if you see, as I understood that the middle column is what I understood is the SAP data, so which is already integrated, and the consolidation, the first column is non-SAP, that's why it is less and you have to do it manually.
Yes, this is what, if you have any non-SAP data, if you are loading, that is where you create here. If SAP, you don't create here, it will create it in CO module, it automatically reflects here.
One question for the thing before it, for this mapping one, that when we were mapping GL account with FS item, we found that there are few GL items for which there is no mapping available. It was showing that in another tab. So in general, we should have all the GL accounts required for consolidation mapped to FS item. So
the all data should be mapped. It is not that only few GL we map, few GL we don't know. Then now you will consolidate your entire data. Whatever your entire financials you have to take and you have to map it.
Okay. One more thing, that are we going to cover metrics consolidation also along with that?
Whatever the data is available with us, with that we'll try to understand. Okay.